your fault. Okay.
This woman is claiming to be a visitor, but she's been flagged up on the database as having been refused entry to Britain in the past.
But you understand why we have to do this, because you've had that previous refusal. And it's always going to cause problems, unfortunately.
She's no stranger to Britain. She went to school here for 4 years,
I mean, that's what we're
until her
doing
father's
now.
work permit was cancelled and her family were removed.
Anything to declare to customs? Nothing, no like 1,000 cigarettes or nothing like that? Okay, all right. She's been refused entry, or she was refused entry, back in August of 2007. Her father was here on a work permit. It's a bit sketchy, but it was curtailed back in February of 2007. She claims now she's come here to pick up some certificates, her GCSE certificates, from the examining board. She claims that she had sent for them, paid for them, they were sent in the post, but they were never received. The only thing is, she doesn't have a return ticket. Why would somebody come on a two-week visit without a return ticket? That's a little bit strange. Is it Lahore you're from, yeah?
Okay.
What do you do there? Studying?
Yeah, I'm studying law.
Law? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Immigration law?
No, I'm trying to stay away from that.
Okay, don't worry.
Nothing personal.
No.
That's my university card.
Excellent, I'll just borrow that as well. Let me get that back.
I don't have any cash on me.
No cash. What about credit card? No credit card? So you got nothing at all? So how are you going to survive initially? Your family, friends?
They'll help me out.
Her claim to be picking up certificates to take back to Pakistan doesn't quite add up.
Well, it's just this fact, she's got a single ticket, she's got no money, and she hasn't actually arranged for these certificates yet.
You see, I don't get this part, because she and her entire family have been refused entry. Okay?
Yeah.
They've previously been living here for 4 years.
Yeah.
Further to that, they appealed and went down the human rights line as well. So they're kind of well aware about how things work
know
in
how
the UK.
things work, yeah.
So then to send a family member alone on a single ticket with no money doesn't stack up.
A closer look at her luggage doesn't improve her chances.
At the back, I've just discovered some old pay statements, and I just went out to the control and spoke to her. I said, well, why have you got these certificates with you? You know, if you're just coming to get, and she said, oh, well, it's just all my documentation that I had when I was in the UK. But there's P45s as well.
Now I'm a little unhappier because these are documents that are not necessary at all
Relevant.
to obtain a course in Lahore.
Exactly.
It's question time for the law student. Officer Hassler wants answers.
It's not looking good, all right? I won't lie to you, because I can't understand why you've not brought any money with your tickets. We're going to have to come through this way, all right? And the fact of the matter, you've got £2 on you, you've got no credit cards, you've got no return ticket, you've brought other documentation, which, to be quite frank, you shouldn't have brought with you. I can't understand why you brought it with you.
This interview will decide whether or not Officer Hassler returns her on the next flight home.
So why did they just buy you a single ticket? I can't fathom this out, because why would they buy you a single ticket and also send you their daughter halfway across the world with just £2 coins in the purse?
I don't have any intention of staying here.
I didn't ask that the question. I said, why do you not have a return ticket?
Because I didn't know what date exactly I would go back.
She said she didn't know how long she was going to be here. It was going to be 2 or 3 weeks. And I said, well, why didn't you get an open ticket? I says, we have many times people come here. And she says, oh yeah, I found about that on the aircraft. I hadn't heard of open tickets.
She didn't know about open tickets.
Didn't know about open tickets.
This is a young lady who's lived in the UK and has clearly
I travelled before, but didn't know about
open tickets.
We get people coming here all the time who are coming as visitors, and if they don't have return tickets, they don't have money, they'll just be refused. It's not credible. You're coming here as a visitor, but yet, you know, you've got no evidence of support whatsoever. You said that you're going to come here, get these GCSE certificates, but yet you've come with all this documentation, and you would need that sort of stuff if you want to settle here. You've even got your, you're shaking your head, but in your wallet you had your national insurance card, which you had your national insurance number in. Why would you bring that to the UK?
I just brought my wallet with me.
But then we start going into things like her previous bank statements here, mobile phone accounts, previous interviews with Job Centre Plus. Certainly with regard to her documentation, she has literally packed up everything, put it into a folder. It's as if she's picked up her life
And brought it here.
brought it here. And I think we've got to remember this. I mean, the family had lived in the UK since 2002. The father had been working here. She's had most of her informative years here. Like I said, she's been a student here. She'd got a job. She'd taken her exams. And then all of a sudden, for no fault of her own, the rug's pulled out from under her feet and she's forced back to a country that she probably hasn't lived in for a number of years. And all of a sudden, she's left, you know, thinking, well, where's it all gone? Okay. Just want to... Right. The decision is that you're going to be refused entry, okay? You're coming in as a visitor, but you've got all this documentation which pertains nothing to why you want to come here regarding your education. Now, if you want to come back to the UK, you can, but what I would advise you to do is get an entry clearance visa, okay? You can still go and ask for a visit visa or a student visa, whatever you want to do, but rather than you having to come here and go through all this, it means you go to the embassy, you put all the evidence in front of them and you allow them to make the decision.